We're live.
Hello. Here we are. Oh boy, I need to turn the sound off of that. Are are people here? I'm sorry. I don't know what's going
Yeah, there's
on.
folks streaming. There's folks starting to stream in right now. We just got our
Oh,
first comment a minute
hi.
in. I should have. Yeah, that's on me for not prepping you better and giving you just going right into it.
Okay, so
So
I just start talking.
go for it.
Is that what I do?
So
Are there people watching me right now?
yeah, we got 5 folks watching right now
Wow. Thank
already. So without further ado,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, I will turn it over to the wonderful and inimitable Olive Chiacchia.
Thank you. And by the way, you did say my name right. So awesome. I nobody ever says my last name right. So John gets a lot of points for that. So hi everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the first ever Abundant Artists. My name is Olive and I am an actress and I am a producer, but something that I am mostly, and I think what I am first is a spiritual being. So, a little bit about me is I started studying spirituality about 10 years ago, and I've been an artist my whole life, but only in the last 2 years I've been a full time artist. So, in the last few years, I've really put together a lot of the different spiritual practices that I've learned. And I began this company called All of Us Media. It's my own production company where I increase the sales of fashion brands and I scale businesses. And then I also am a working actress. And I've been doing that for about a year. So I've made it to my dream of being a full time artistic entrepreneur, which honestly feels unreal that it happened. And I really do dedicate a lot of my success to my spirituality. So not only in the last few years have I had a lot of success in my career, I've had a lot of success in my health and through I've been through a whole lot of health issues. I had really bad Lyme disease, I had long-term COVID, and I've cleared up a lot of those things. I also used to not be able to walk. Like things were pretty challenging, but I've really achieved a lot of remission here. Um, I've manifested my relationship and my friendship with Renee and a lot of money and my dream roles, all sorts of things. So I decided to create this show for all of you guys to share how I was able to go from somebody who was sick. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I was completely unemployed. I was lost. I actually wasn't an actress or a producer at that point. I was just like, I used to do therapy and I was so miserable. I hated it. I had no money. I was a mess. I had an eating disorder. It was an absolute train wreck. And then just about 2 years later, I am grateful and I'm joyful, peaceful, and living this artistic, abundant life. So I want to teach all of you the tools that I used to get here because honestly, it wasn't hard work. I don't work very hard. It might seem like I work very hard. I don't. I mean, I guess I love everything I do. So that may be why it doesn't really feel like I'm working hard, but I don't do a lot. So I just wanted to share how this was all possible for me because I think it should be possible for everybody who's an artist. So um the way that this is going to go is I'm going to teach for maybe 20-ish minutes. So this is kind of like a course, and I'm going to try out this layout. And then if everyone wants something else, that's totally fine too. And then at the end, if you could just pop in the chat, I'm hopefully going to be able. So I'm new to this, by the way. This is like my third time on here. But if you just write me some questions in the comments, then I can answer those for you as well. So and if I don't get to those questions there, just feel free to send me a DM and I can answer anything you want. I also have notes that I've written for all of these, so I can share those with you too. So just send me your email address and I can give you all of the notes. So without further ado, here is Abundant Artists. So creativity and spirituality go hand in hand. When you think about it, the word creative actually comes from creator. So there is a lot of synchronicities there. And a lot of times people will say that they are in the flow state, which a lot of times is actually a very effortless spiritual state. when you get in that zone, that artistic zone, that there's actually a lot of spiritual connection going on during that time. The struggle that many artists face is the work art life balance because you don't have the work life balance. You have the work balance, which is supporting your artistic career. And then you're trying to get your artistic career to be a full time thing. And then you have to like be a human. So it's just like way too much for most people. So a lot of artists come up with all these different creative ways to make money, but a lot of times they end up burning out, which is why I'm focusing this particular course on abundance, because the idea is that we are able to live as artists and be abundant. So, a lot of people to get here use things like the law of attraction. And absolutely, the law of attraction can be really helpful in getting more work, but I don't use the law of attraction at all. And I'm going to tell you why. So the law of attraction works. However, it's not really a good idea in the long run because you could be manifesting from your ego, which is not likely your highest and best path. So your ego is important for many reasons. I'm not saying that it's all bad, but it provides you with protection and security on a physical level. But many people end up manifesting from a like hyper ego centric things. Like, let's say they're manifesting being a millionaire, or I want to be rich and famous and like drive a Lamborghini, all that stuff. That's not really what we're here to do. That isn't serving others. And if you're doing anything to do with spirituality, we all know that being serving is a really huge part of that, right? So, ultimately, a lot of these law of attraction ideas are really self-serving and they could also be lost in a second. So let's say you wanted to manifest $1 million. You could sit there and write down, I have $1 million. I have $1 million in the present tense, do the whole law of attraction thing. I've tried it. And you could make that $1 million and you'll probably lose it in a minute too because it wasn't for your path. And when things that we really want don't come to our path, it's a blessing because when we don't get what we want, it's just the universe protecting us from egocentric things that we think we need, but we actually don't. So, yes, we are going to still manifest, but we are going to choose to manifest using principles that I teach in a way that feels like it is in our highest and best path, in a more flexible way as well. So it's going to serve others and we aren't attached to the outcome. So the law of attraction really focuses a lot on outcome. And we're not attached to the outcome. We're only manifesting because it sounds like a lot of fun. Like it's not for any reason. We don't need anything because the truth of the matter is what you have right now is exactly what you need to achieve transcendence and hit your highest and best path. All you need ever is to be in a centered feeling space, to feel peaceful, not excited, not too happy, just joyful and peaceful. And you will be able to connect with your guides, connect with your higher self, and move in the right direction. That being said, many artists are drawn to art for a reason, and it's usually a higher purpose reason. So I want to give you the most tools so you could work with the universe to make abundant art, whether it's here, whether it's at home, whether it's on Tardon Media Network, in the Tardonverse, whatever it is, so you can have that tool. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about feelings. Your feelings are a little bit like lanterns illuminating your path. You follow the good feelings, and that is the best way to stay on track and interact with art. That is the best way for you and your highest self. And that will likely lead you to more opportunities than if you were just grinding. Like, wake up, I'm going to practice the tuba for like 20 minutes, and then I'm going to do a bunch of push ups for my mental health and this for my No. We're not doing that. Goodbye. Sorry. No, that is not what happens. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes practice. So instead, we are going to do what feels good. We are going to use art and enjoy art in a way that feels good at the right times. It doesn't have to be all the time. I'm not telling you that you have to go out and be an artist every day. I just want you to open up to it and have fun. Like, feel like a child. Like, when it feels like you're in the zone and it's childlike, Those are the opportunities that are going to lead you to more opportunities that are the opportunities that were meant for you, that are the reason you are here. So here, I'll give you an example. I used to push myself so hard to do so many auditions. Renee knows this because she used to read for me like 5 times a week. I used to audition all the time. Like, I am not kidding you. I was auditioning like in a circle. Like it was just the grind, and everyone says grind, 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 and all the entrepreneurs say grind, go, go, go. And then the same thing I was mirroring in my business. So in my business, all of this media, I was like doing all this like weird LinkedIn outreach, which honestly didn't feel good. And my feelings are my little lanterns. I should have listened to them, but I wasn't. I was not doing it. So here I am, just like I I was pushing myself so hard. I would do all this outreach, and then audition, blah, blah, blah. Awful. I didn't book anything. I didn't get any clients. It was a disaster. Okay. Finally, I decided to take a step back, and I was like, I'm only going to audition for things I want. I'm going to take a break. I took a break from both. And then one day I looked at my phone. I went, you know what? I'm going to look at auditions today. And what happened about 2 minutes before that, I opened up my phone and I saw that one of the acting coaches I want launched a self-tape course that was really good. And I went, I'm going to do that first. So I did that self-tape course, right? And immediately after that, I went, I'm going to look at casting calls. And then I went, oh, this looks like exactly what I want to do. It's a TV pilot. It's an episodic comedy. Looks like fun. Oh, Renee's free. I guess I'll do this audition. First one in a while. I booked it. It's a lead. It's a pilot. It's in the second review with Netflix. It was the only role I needed to book for the entire year to get where I wanted to be. I didn't need to do any of those other auditions, but I followed my feelings. And that's how it worked. Same thing with my business. I stopped doing the outreach. I was like, this is crazy. I'm just sending all this crazy outreach that made no sense. Like I was sending like weird LinkedIn messages, like circle back, like, like that terrible lingo. I don't even know. And then I was like, I'm going to check out this random Facebook group that I've never been on. I just pop on there at 11. It was 11 p.m. one night. Why was I doing this at 11? My feelings told me to. So I went, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to let it go. And I saw this woman posted about needing somebody to do ad campaigns. So part of what I do with my production company is I run ad campaigns. So I start talking to her, first client, and that was it. And it was easy. It's been so much fun. So that is about working smarter, not harder, but you're working smarter, following your feelings. So here's another example about manifesting and not being attached to the outcome. So recently, everybody I think here has heard about, oh, I'm sorry, I don't see the comments right now. 1 second. Oh, I'm good. All right. Sorry about that. So when I get into the flow of things, another thing I just want to mention is when I start talking, I'm kind of channeling, and I'm probably not going to read comments and stuff and take questions until the end. So I can just kind of like let whatever's coming to me come through me. So that's just something to know about the way that I'm able to teach and stuff like that, because I am getting the right information for the audience right now. So, I'm not a self-proclaimed psychic. I can, but I choose to, I prefer to assist people to use their own psychic power and their own spiritual paths to come to their own conclusions. All right, back to what I was talking about. So something I'm manifesting right now, just for the fun of it, because I know if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, is another, so we're down one executive producer for group. So we were fully, for the pilot that I was talking about group, we mentioned it in a few other things. I don't know if you are a new viewer or if you've seen anything else that I've been in, but group is a pilot that I've been working on. I'm an executive producer with Renee Yalrisky and Brian Farmer. We are working together on creating this beautiful, beautiful pilot that is a sitcom about mental health. So we're bringing awareness to mental health without making fun of it. It's going to be super fun. We have one of our writers wrote New Girl. We have a director that's worked with names. We have we have a sales agent and a connection at NBC and Netflix. So like it's going really well. However, we had a $10,000 investor drop out because someone in their family got sick. So that was like a really big bummer. We're like, oh no, we're not greenlit anymore. But screw it. Have I ever found an investor for a film before? Actually, no, I've never had to. Do I know how? Not really. So what I decided to do was not panic. I wasn't going to force myself to like go on the internet, how to find $10,000 rich people. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. I'm going to go on a walk because I felt like going on a walk. So I said, I'm going to go on a walk and I'm going to intend for this walk to live in the abundance of greenlighting group again. And I am going to intend to know how to get to the next step. So I did not manifest $10,000 on that walk. I'm going to be honest with you. I did find a $20 bill on the ground, fellas, which is kind of abnormal, especially where I live. I found a 20. Like that's not nothing. And then the next day, I walked in the same area and I found a $100 drawer set that I needed to buy. So I found $120. Not bad for a start. Do I have it yet? No. Am I attached to it? No. But I will keep you all posted on how I manifest that further. So before we get more and more into manifesting, because I know that's what everybody's so excited to learn about, because we all want to manifest things, because we all want more. But the more important thing in manifesting is the diet we're going to go on. Now, I'm not talking about a stupid fad diet. I'm not talking about a January 1st diet. I'm talking about a mental diet. We are all going on a mental diet. And the first thing we're going to diet from is forcing. Rule number 1 in living this path is to not force anything. So back to the example with my auditions, I was forcing myself to audition. I was like, I didn't want to audition, nothing. And it just felt wrong. I didn't like the roles. And it was just a big waste of time. Like I literally spent, I don't even want to know how much time that was because auditions take a while. Same with all the outreach I was doing, absolute waste. So rule number 1, we are not going to force anything. Rule number 2, try to limit your thinking. And now I know this is going to sound really nuts. And we all think that thinking is really important, right? It's actually not, because most thinking that you're doing during the day, think about what I'm going to actually ask you to think for 1 second, but like ponder for a moment on what you're thinking about all day and how much negativity is coming through there. It's enough where it's not really worth it. Thoughts are incredibly powerful. So if we are using our thoughts, we need to make sure we're using them intentionally. But the easiest way to do that is to limit thinking, because we're never going to get rid of it fully. But when you're not thinking, you're present. So I am presently here right now. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to say, when I'm going to say it. I am just here. And the right things are coming out of my mouth because I am present. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to say next. Hopefully something that's appropriate. It will be appropriate. I'll be good. But it's because I'm just right here right now. So do you ever wonder why a lot of people struggle? So there's actually a lot of research on people being very out of their body and eating disorders. So I've struggled from a lot of eating disorders, which is why I know that the reason a lot of people overeat is because they become too stuck in their heads, and it's very grounding to eat. So getting out of like your thought mind can actually help with things like unhealthy patterns as well. Under eating as well, over anything like that, drugs, addiction, all of those things. I'm not going to sit here and say that you can get out of your thoughts and make addiction go away, but it can be incredibly helpful to practice grounding and to stop thinking. Just drop the thought. And the easiest way to drop a thought is to bring yourself back to the now. Easiest way to bring yourself back to the now is to touch something physical and to focus on something in the physical world. So I will focus on this headphone and just look at it. It's like mindfulness, and just make objective observations. And then see, the thought's gone. I'll show you another way to think about it. Everybody, I want you right now to think of a yellow elephant. Now I want you to think of a blue elephant. Are you still thinking of the yellow elephant? No, because you started thinking of the blue elephant. So replacing thoughts can also work if you absolutely if you're a very thought oriented person, that might be something that's very helpful. Um, the third thing we are going to give up is negative self talk. Negative self talk is like rotten food. You have to just, when you take a bite of negative self talk, you spit it out. Spit it out, spit it on the ground. We don't have room for that here because you are a sacred being and there is nothing negative that needs to be fed to you. It's the exact same thing as eating rotten food. So anytime you hear yourself speaking poorly to yourself, I want you to just spit it out. Think about it and I know I'm saying think again, but if imagine rotten food anytime, you know what I mean? Like if you, oh, I'm not good enough. So I have a lot of issues around body image. So I'll be like, oh man, I really wish I was thinner. I wish I was more fit. I wish I was more beautiful. And then I just spit it out. And now I feel okay because I spit it out. This takes a lot of perseverance, a lot of resilience, and a lot of patience, and mostly practice. So all of these practices, we aren't going to be perfect. It's going to take a lot of time, but this is a good place to start. The next thing is we're not going to push ourselves. So that kind of goes with force. No forcing, no pushing. So one is forcing, no force. One is less thoughts. No, two is less thoughts. Three is less negative self-talk. Four is less pushing. And five is letting go. I challenge you to let go of your attachments to the outer world because ultimately everything is changing. The only thing that's constant in this world is that it's changing. You can win $100, you can lose $100. You can get a wife, you can get divorced, you can move across the country, your house can burn down, you can lose your family. I mean, every single thing you can lose, but there's one thing that you have control over that you don't have to lose, and that is your peace. So I want you to let go of attachments of these old feeling patterns that you need anything to work out in a certain way, because the truth of the matter is that everything is working out perfectly for you. And everything is working out in a way that is teaching you what you needed to learn and to transcend and to grow. And suffering is a state of mind. So we are going to try our very best to limit that suffering here. So if you feel that you are getting stuck in suffering, there is a meditation I learned. So this is a meditation that has been passed down through a few very secret schools. One of my greatest mentors in the spiritual practice that I started working with recently, who has totally opened up a lot of my life, has taught it. And it's called The Method. It's just a way to release negative emotions. So I do this practice when I can't get out of my head, or if I can't stop feeling bad, or if I'm suffering from some sort of outdoor circumstance, some sort of worldly circumstance that I don't want to feel anymore. So I'm going to end by guiding you through this meditation right now. I can send it to you if you really like it. So it's something different things work for different people, but it's just something that I've really found a lot of peace with. And I think what's really interesting about it is sometimes I'll do it, I won't feel any different, but then 15 minutes go by and then I'm like, oh, I feel better. So I don't know. I think it's an excellent, excellent meditation. So everybody just get in a comfortable position and I'm going to guide you through the method. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to feel our feelings. So it doesn't matter what your feeling is right now. You can feel sad, you could feel angry, you could feel shame, any feeling. So I want you to feel your feelings and feel them as strong and as deeply as you can. Now, this can go on for up to 5 minutes. We're just going to do it for a second here. The more you feel, the more you'll release and the more you'll get out of this. So don't judge anything that's coming up right now. Maybe some regret or some remorse, anger, frustration. Now I want you to think about the parent before the age of 6 who resembles this emotion that you're feeling the most. So that might sound weird, but maybe you had like a really angry father. And I want you to go back to how you felt around this angry father and really think about that. Not think about it, I'm sorry, feel, because we're all about feeling here. We don't do thinking, we do feeling. Feelings are the guides. So now you're going to feel compassion for that parent. I'm going to ask you to switch to a feeling of love for yourself. So I want you to say in your head, I love myself, and feel love for you. Feel the way that you feel when you're holding the most beautiful, adorable pet or your loved one, but feel it inwards. Feel it for you. Open up to that feeling of love. Now I want you to feel a space opening up inside of you and expanding. And now you're going to step into this space, this expanding space that's coming from your heart, and feel it filling up with this divine, vibrating, beautiful energy. And now you're going to feel the whole world, the whole universe filled with this divine energy. Feel it filling up all of your pores in all of the universe, all the planets, all the stars, everywhere. Now I want you to switch to a feeling of self-value. I want you to feel that you are sacred, you are holy, you are precious. Feel valuable to this earth because you are. Feel so valued. I value all of you, so you have to know that you're valued. Next, I want you to think of something that you're really talented at. So this might be art. What are you really good at? Like, what is something that just flows? No matter, like, you can just do it easily. It's like your thing. Now feel yourself getting into the zone and just doing that thing. And it's just effortless, absolute effortless feeling. It's just like this peaceful flow energy. Now picture yourself sharing whatever this is with everybody in the universe and everyone thanking you for it. Being like, thank you so much for sharing this awesome thing with me. And feel gratitude for them too, because they've really shown you how important you are, because you are. Now we're going to switch into a feeling of abundance. I want everyone to feel infinitely wealthy, because the truth of the matter is that you are. You will always have what you need. So you have infinite abundance. Feel as if you are richer than Jeff Bezos. Feel richer than anyone on the planet. And as soon as you give all your money away, your bank account just refills. You can also feel this, like feeling like you have an abundant artistic opportunities, abundant health, abundant, traveling, or whatever you want more abundance with. You can feel this for. Now, this is one of my favorite parts, and you just kind of live in it because you always get what you need. Now, for the last step, I want you to let it all go. Kind of like let go and let God. We're just going to turn everything over to the universe. We are not going to try and figure out crap because we can't figure out anything anyways. We're just going to let it all go. We're just going to go, all right, universe. I'm hands off deck. You just guide my feelings and figure it out for me. Because the truth of the matter is that's what's going to happen anyways. And as you feel yourself letting go, I'm going to have you take a deep breath. And once you hold your breath for 3 seconds, you're going to blow it out. And that is the method meditation. All right. Thank you all for joining me on that. Wait. Hello? Oh, oh my God, I lost the screen for a second. I'm so sorry. I thought it was over. All right. Hi, everyone. So I know I went a little bit over 20 minutes there. I had a lot of explaining for the first episode, but I just wanted to pop on and see how everyone's feeling. Does anyone have any comments? Does anyone feel good? Like how are you all doing? Because I just brought you through a nice big meditation, and I hope it was super, super um, well received and beautiful feeling. I hope that you had beautiful releases, but if you have any other questions, just let me know. You can either write them in the chat right now, or you are more than welcome to DM me, like I said before. Also, any donations are all the proceeds are going to group. So, something else for you to know as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I really hope that you enjoyed this. Yes, my Venmo is right there. So, you can send anything to my Venmo and I'll send it directly to group. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Namaste. And please come back next week. Bye, everyone. Thank you.